Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence.
Banking made simple and convenient. At Builtwell Bank, we're here for you. Whether you're making a milestone purchase or saving for retirement, our dedicated financial team will walk with you every step of the way because we care. From personal banking accounts to making sure your business and commercial needs are met, we'll make sure you have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and goals. Serving Lawrenceburg and Summertown. Come see us today. Member FDIC.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Check. There we go. Something's about to go right here, but welcome everybody to Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. Obviously, work in progress. As you can tell, still in the studio, very similar to what we were dealing with last Friday. A little bit cleaner, though. We're starting to get some of this stuff. You can't really see it from the camera, but back here is starting to look really good. Really starting to nail some stuff down here. And, guys, we're... before you know it, we'll be in here doing some real stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy that, I mean, what this looked like just a week ago today. I mean, we were still in the old studio, I guess you could say now, and now it looks completely different this week. And I expect the following Monday, I'm not sure if we'll be done with it by then, but to look completely different again.
Right. Yeah. And, we'll have to, of course, probably have to situate some lighting deals that we still got in place from what was the old studio, that sort of deal. But like we said, with the guys, with the lumber guys coming in, getting kind of the main framing already done, as we see, now it's just up to the home stretch of getting the rest up, and I'm excited to what it's going to look like. Yeah. So exciting things going around on the export side of things.
And we can still do stuff in here instead of my living room, which when we were discussing it earlier today in our meeting, I'm like, well, we can go back to my living room. And I'm like, well, actually, no, my house cleaner comes today. No. I'm like, we would have been in the garage burning up. My dog would have really been barking a lot. Yeah. Just too much for a 14-year-old little diva. like that. But hey, she barked at you guys for about 5 minutes and slept the rest of the time.
Yeah,
So,
but they seemed like she got all of it out.
yeah,
Jumped up in her chair and was done with it.
yeah, that's about Ellie. That's about right. But good weekend for you guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, solid. Got to see some exciting Red Sox until they finally lost 2 games in a row. What feels like the first time in 2 months.
What is up with this team, man?
I don't
How
know.
can you go from like bottom of your division, everyone counting you out, telling you to sell at the deadline, and all of a sudden you go on this historic win streak?
I mean, I don't even really know how to
Yankees
describe
need
it.
to watch. I mean, Yankees need to watch out now.
Yeah.
You know, which of course, I mean, Tampa Bay's leading that.
Yeah.
I think they have the second best record in baseball behind just the Brewers,
Wow.
which is crazy. Talking about
Yeah.
2 teams with such small markets leading their respective leagues.
Yeah, and speaking on a little run that the MLB teams, of course I'm a big Braves fan. They went on 8 straight. They won 8 straight before going to New York, and then they did drop 2 of 3 in New York. Was able to get the game 3 win up there, but they're coming back home. New York Yankees, that is. They're coming back home to play the Mets in a 3-game
I
series.
love it. Good time to play them.
Yeah, and you usually don't see that quick of a road series, but they left home, went to New York for 3 days, and then they're coming right back home. You usually don't see that. You usually see somewhat of a 6-7 game series away from home before coming back, or vice versa, whatever it may be. But they made a quick trip to New York, then coming back home to take on the Mets. So speaking of the Yankees, we talked about it off air just before. Ryan Weathers scheduled to start tomorrow versus the Mariners, so hopefully that goes well for him.
Yeah, I would say his last couple of starts, he has been absolutely D1. So if he can keep that up, I think it's 18 and a third scoreless.
You're helping me fantasy wise, Ryan. Keep it going. Back-to-back wins. Back-to-back wins.
I'm saying I would imagine they're probably enjoying their off day. Feels like a bunch of teams kind of off today.
Cubs are off today, like for the first time in like 3 weeks. It's been
I think
I
think they had 17 straight days with a game.
Yeah.
So I would say they're probably enjoying a day where they can just lay in bed.
Yeah. And I seen we were talking a little bit about that Ohtani PCA debate last week. The Diamondbacks was able to take down not Nationals.
The Dodgers.
Dodgers. There we go.
There you go.
Had a blank. Dodgers. Yesterday, I don't know who took the series, but Ohtani was like 0 for 4 with 2K, 3K, something like that. I know he at times struggles with strikeouts. I don't know how PCA, and we talked about that debate. I don't know how PCA's hit to strikeout ratio
It's
is
gotten better.
or whatever.
It's gotten better.
Of course, you see the league now and how hitters, I mean, strikeout rates have just oh my
Bombarded,
goodness.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Ohtani has a problem with striking.
Yeah.
It's like a real problem, and it has in the past ever since he's really come into the league. Which, of course, you know the power he has, you know what he can do from the plate, you know what he can do from the mound. But he overall the Dodgers did struggle in their last game versus Diamondbacks, and Diamondbacks was able to take that game from them.
Yeah, Diamondbacks have won, or the Dodgers have won 1 game since the month of August began. It's been
We're on the 10th, right?
Yeah, so
I would say they had that. They started off with that sweep against the Red Sox, got swept by the Cubs, and then lost 2 out of 3 this weekend to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
So rough going for the new look Dodgers.
Wow.
Yeah. All that money. But they can,
Yeah,
they
if
can
the play-
turn it on in September.
They can.
Well, and here's the thing,
They
guys:
can.
if the playoffs started today, they're playing in the wild card round. They
Yeah.
don't have a bye,
Yeah, well, I seen like where the Chicago White Sox would have a first round bye,
and the Dodgers would not.
and the Dodgers would not.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's baseball. Yeah.
is.
It's anywhere in pro sports. I mean, you look at, I talk about it all the time with my hockey team. I'm like, man, if we were in the Western Conference,
Be looking
we,
good.
we wouldn't even be in the wild card discussion. We would have gotten in the top 3 in our division. But you look at, it's same in the NFL. I mean, you'll have teams with losing records win their division. Carolina did that last year.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of it.
Well, and then you look at the division the 49ers are in, and the 49ers, the Rams, the Seahawks. I mean, it's
All won 10-plus games.
yeah, and Arizona. I mean, and I would say you got Arizona out there. They're not bad. I mean, they're not great.
They're going to
but
be bad this year.
It's going to probably be a rough year this year. Carson Beck might be their starting
Before we get into some local stuff, guys, real quick with the NFL as we moved into that, how much does preseason records do
Don't
they
mean
matter?
anything.
I seen some guys talk about it. I was like, because
There's one point of preseason that will matter, and that's the 3rd preseason game, because your starters will at least play a whole half. See, like the first first couple preseason games,
They'll play
especially the first one, they maybe will play a series or two. Second game, they might play a quarter. The third game, you'll see a whole half of 1-versus-1s. Fourth game, you won't see them at all.
Yeah.
So, preseason the 49ers went 1-3 in the preseason last year and then ended up winning a playoff game. Don't mean anything.
And I think that Lions team in 2007 or 2008 that didn't win a game, I think they went 3-1 in their preseason. So there's not a whole lot you can gauge off of it. I mean, it's fun to see some football again and see some guys getting out there. And my favorite thing about the preseason is seeing those guys fighting for roster spots. It's like, hey, this guy, undrafted free agent, just picked him up, for training camp, and he has been, amazing. Came from a school you never heard of. Those are always a ton of fun in the preseason.
Yes, trying to make that roster.
Hayes King in the Hall of Fame game, going in and making that big touchdown run.
Man, what's with Haynes King and Carson Beck just playing some classics? I mean, they had that Georgia Tech game that went into all those overtimes, and now first game in the NFL in the Hall of Fame game.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to see. But, I think, speaking of the 49ers, the Titans will travel to San Francisco. If anything, preseason games are just easier to get into if you're a fan.
Right.
You're not there for the competitive part of it. Yeah. You're just there to watch football and maybe see. It's almost like if you were to bring minor league games into a big league ballpark, but you only do it for half of a game or 7 of the 9 innings. That's pretty much
the same thing.
What an NFL preseason game is. But they mean something, but not record-wise.
I would say it's just fun to get out there, play some football, see some football again, but in the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter a whole lot.
Speaking of football, guys, it's Jamboree week. Starting Thursday, Lawrence County's got Lauderdale County. Loretta's got James Clements.
Just Clements.
My bad. I get them mixed up. Clements.
Yes.
Because James Clements and Clements are two different high schools. That's my fault. So Clements comes to Loretta, then Summertown's got a Jamboree. Who's Summertown?
They are playing Battle Creek at Columbia Central.
At Columbia Central. Okay. So we got all that going on this week. One game Friday. We also got middle school Tuesday. E.O. Kaufman's got Harris, South Lawrence, Loretto Junior High.
Yeah, Loretto Junior High will be playing Mount Pleasant on Thursday, and Summertown, I believe, is at Lewis County Middle School.
So, I mean, we've already got a game in middle school wise, but it's here, guys. I mean, we're playing meaningful games, and this time next week we're talking about opening day.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be really exciting this time next week because we're going to have, like you mentioned, Summertown, Lawrence County. We're going to have Loretta, Cornersville. I mean, it's here.
Yeah. Well, I know Will Pettis, a.k.a. Big Daddy, a.k.a. the man, the myth, the legend, a.k.a. Voldemort. All of those things. We love Will. He was in our office for the meeting, and he was like, man, what do you guys think football-wise? And the thing is he was talking about Summertown. He said times they've looked good, times they haven't. That's the preseason. You're going to get that a lot. They do have a lot of depth. But I think the big question to ask going into Thursday and Friday, what do you want to see against these teams, by your teams before we go into opening week? Loretta goes to Cornersville, Summertown will host Lawrence County.
I think you just want to see some togetherness. I think you don't want to see a lot of sloppy, the pre-snap penalties and the formation subs, that kind of penalties. I think you just want to see as clean a football as you can get. Obviously, you're not going to be in tip-top shape week one. You're not going to be, breaking stuff out of the bottom of the playbook. It's just going to be going out there and just playing some football.
Yeah, and I guess like you said, and I never was a big football guy, but I guess just the little things like getting to the line of scrimmage quick, controlling what you can control, and catching clean passes, the passes that hit your receivers in the hands. You've got to catch them balls. On your counts, getting them things. Make sure we're on our timing.
Turnovers are a big one.
Turnovers that we can control. Just getting all those little things worked out. Chemistry between one another, chemistry between your offensive line and your quarterback and your running back. That sort of thing. I guess is also between your head coach and your. Now I don't know in high school does the quarterback have a
Not yet. We're probably going to get there. It's funny. You can do that in high school baseball and softball now.
Yes.
But we don't have that in football.
Don't have it in football yet.
Yeah. Which, I would think it would be more important to have one in
football. Yeah.
I don't know. I never played football.
They just put that in the college game, 2 years ago? So I would say, I would say we're probably still
I can see it's it could be a money thing
Right.
and a safety thing because you got that in there. You could get hit,
Yeah.
it could bust off.
Yeah.
But, because, the NFL and the college have top level technology. You're not always going to have that. It might be just an AirPod
And I,
Yeah.
in the ear.
Well,
So.
and I'll tell you something else that would probably, I guess, be good to work on. Maybe everything say under 2 minutes to play. Your hurry up offense, that sort of thing. No huddles.
Yeah.
That would probably be something to work on. That
Yeah.
obviously that's going to be very helpful, not only in game 1, game 2, game 3, but very crucial as you get onto the
Right.
later on in the season. So.
Yeah. So I go through. I'm going to go through a team by team. Lawrence County. They're going to get Lauderdale County. Now, from everything I've heard, they look pretty decent against Franklin Road. Pretty decent against Marshall County. A lot. And those are teams that they're going to see a lot of. The spread teams. I'm going to try to spread you out one-on-one, that sort of stuff. Lauderdale County's different. Wing T, power football, big boys up front. I want to see how Lawrence County handles the run defensively. I really want to see what this offense is going to look like without Logan Clayton, without, having to replace a lot up front. Now they got some really big bodies, and they got some guys who moved in here, not necessarily like transfer from other schools, like literally families moved for jobs, that sort of stuff. Gone here. I want to see how their defense. I just want to see how up front they look. I'm a former big ugly. You can't really tell, but I'm a former big ugly offensive and defensive lineman, and those things matter. And we've seen Lawrence County teams in a little bit last year, and some of the past, like teams that can run the ball have success against them. I want to see how they handle that against a primarily wing T team that's going to try to run it up the middle, because they're not going to show a lot. So they're just going to run their base offense without that wing T sort of stuff. Summertown wise, I want to see how they're going to integrate all those pieces, because they got a lot of depth.
a lot of them.
They got a lot of guys coming back. They got a lot of speed. You got your quarterback back. You got some good depth on the offensive and defensive line. I just want to see how they're going to work all those pieces together. And Battle Creek's going to be a good test, because this team got a little bit better last year, first year in varsity football. A lot of these kids who started as just freshmen and sophomores and are now
Sophomores and juniors.
Sophomores, juniors, and some seniors over there, because they've gotten better in every
So is this the first
sport.
senior class over there?
I think
Or is this the second?
I think this might be the first.
I think, they've taken in transfers, so I would imagine that they.
I would say I think I think this is the first group of seniors that came in as freshmen.
Okay, yeah.
We could be wrong.
Yeah, we could be.
be wrong, but I just want to see how they handle that. I want to see how healthy they're going to come out, because that's that's
always the big one.
They got numbers now, which is great, but I want to see how healthy they come out. And for Loretto, I just want to see how clean they're going to play. Last year was really sloppy at times. That's no secret.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that straight up, and they've told us that several times straight up. A lot of times it was sloppy last year, guys. I want to see how much they've cleaned things up. I want to see some growth at quarterback. I want to see some leadership, because they don't have a lot of seniors.
Yeah.
And how do these guys who played as freshmen and sophomores step into the sophomore, junior, in some senior roles? I want to see some leadership out of those guys, and I just want to see how they're going to handle, these role. I just, again, cut down on the turnovers, the pre-snap penalties, all the little nicks, because it can just start off as something just small as a little bit of blood, but if you keep nicking it, it just becomes a gaping hole. And Loretto hurt them. So there's some games, 2-8. Honestly, they could have won maybe 4, maybe 5 games if they wouldn't have just nicked themselves.
Well, I bet say you think of that game against Riverside where they, had, I don't know if they had too big of a lead in that one, but they were, right in that game the entire time. That Bolivar game, they were right there the entire time.
Adamsville, they played really well.
Yeah, and that was a team that looking to be pretty young this year, Adamsville. So I'm curious to see what we're going to see from Loretto. How they change things from year 1 to year 2, trying to fit the play style to the players instead of kind of the other way around. And I'm curious to see, obviously, how they'll handle a team from Alabama and Clemens.
And all these teams need to take that next step.
Yes.
We talk about, Loretto going 2-8, missing out on the playoffs for the first time in a long time. I know that team is hungry to get back. They need to take a big step and prove they're better than 2-8. Summertown's got a lot of depth. They got a lot of talent. 4-6 after a great start, beating some really good teams was a bit of a disappointment. They need to take a big step, and you look over next door, guys. You go 8-4, first playoff in 10 years, first playoff win in 15 years. And you look at how the rest of the region is shaping up. You got a chance to kind of take it.
And you know how the Lawrence County faithful is. You know how it's going to be every Friday night at Hendrick Staggs. And after the year Lawrence County's come off of, the fans are excited. The fans are excited. The coaching staff is excited. Not only the players, but the others as well. So that's in the players' minds. That's in the coaching staff's minds, and wanting to not go backwards, in a sense, not go backwards. And not really, if I know Coach Barnett, we don't want to stay the same. We don't want to have another 8-4 year and just get to the playoffs. We want to show that we can build on that and we can get better, and hopefully they can do that. You got Jasper Kilburn back there at quarterback this year, so hopefully he has a good year. I know he can run the ball pretty well as well as throw it. So I don't know all their pieces, but I do know they probably got some pieces that each player obviously can provide their own. Each player's got a different gift. I mean, that's common sense there, and hopefully they can do it to the best of their ability and come out with a good season.
I'm going to try to. I know I'm definitely going to watch my game because I'm going to be there, but I'm trying to, because you guys go at 6 on Friday,
7 o'clock,
7, and Summertown's at 7. So I'm going to have to pick one of the two to go watch. Probably take my little man with me so I can toughen him up a little bit. Anyways, but we're going this time a week from now. We're talking real volleyball games. We're going to be opening the season. I know everyone's really excited about that. And what do you want to see starting first, Loretto and Summertown? What do you want to see out of those guys going into week 1?
Yeah, obviously, I want to see those young players try to solidify their roles. I know early in the season the lineup is probably going to look a lot different when you get to the middle and late parts in September and early October. But try to solidify your roles. Try to find some of these new young pieces that are really going to kind of be the future of your team.
Right. Okay.
And as we talked about Summertown, I just real quick, or not Summertown, volleyball as a whole in the county. I just pulled up Lawrence County and Summertown's match from this few weeks back as they played in the Summertown Smackdown. Just pull up a few things and watch them. I talked to my sister. My sister's a junior on the team at Lawrence County. There's a lot of things that they took away from that. I think they go over. I think a week after the season starts, they go and play in Memphis in a pretty big tournament or whatever. The first several weeks is obviously low stress. You don't get into district play whatever probably until a little later on. I guess. If it's the same as like baseball and all the others. But just being on the same page. That's the one thing JC really emphasized to me. It's just everybody being on the same page as far as chemistry wise, without actually talking. Knowing, there's a lot of moving. There's a lot of moving in volleyball. We know that. Of course, the players know that. You gotta know where you gotta be on the floor. So each player knowing not only their position, but others' positions. JC is the setter for Lawrenceburg. I know the setters for, I don't know who actually is the setters for. I think is Bonner the setter. Bonner's the setter for Summertown, and I'm not sure for down south, off the top of my head. But
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think of it too.
I was trying to replay those games.
Yeah, I know
that felt like a month ago.
Yeah. But anyway, the point I was making is getting on the same page with your hitters, and doing them little things to set up the right hits to them, getting them mid-10 spikes, and so they can get them aces to play in, to put some points together, put some runs together, because I feel like volleyball is a momentum sport as well. I mean, you get going.
It's just like basketball. You can go on runs.
Exactly, things can change very quickly.
Yeah.
So very excited for these three schools: Lawrence County, Summertown, Loretta, as they about to start up their season, and we're about to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're looking at Summertown, you've made it third place last 2 years. You got 3 seniors on this team. A lot of talent, still a lot of youth. And you're having to do it with the first-year head coach, so they're going to probably take 2 to 3 weeks of real games, real competition. And plus, they've been going all these things, but it's one thing to play a couple sets, move on to the next.
Yeah.
So nothing when you get into the grind, best of 5 sets there. So,
but I do think it's big for Summertown to kind of hit the ground running and kind of show that we're still the same Summertown. Just because new coach, new players doesn't mean we're a different team. Yeah, exactly. So, they still can do something big. I think Loretta with Haley Bennett and Miss Thomas, I think they've got they need some youngsters to step up. They got a lot of talent over there. Avery Cheatham, Bella Grace Anderson, Shanna Fisher. Saw a lot of them from the SmackDown. So they need some youngsters to step up. And speaking of youngsters, for Lawrence County, all of these youngsters, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, played a ton last year. If you look at that district where a lot of these teams, Lincoln counties, Columbia's, Franklin counties, Shelbyville's, and all of that stuff in Coffee counties, they lost a lot of production. Yes.
You're keeping the bulk of your production. It's time for you to take your throne. It was the first time they haven't won a district title since I've been here. Take it over, because we've seen some of it. We saw Columbia. Columbia's going to be tough. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to be hard to play, but they're not the team they were a year ago.
Well, and we talked about it a lot last year, AJ, is this team is getting their growing pains out. Kind of like we talked about that last year. This year is going to be the year when you start solidifying yourself as a contender, as the big dog in this district for Lawrence County, and I think it's a good opportunity. Obviously, those freshmen and sophomore, or those sophomores and juniors were out there as freshmen and sophomores, got a lot of experience, a lot of playing time last year in that situation. I think it's like you mentioned, AJ, a good time to try to take things over and really solidify yourself as the number one
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, coming up next, we are going to dive into the world of national news, and just give me a moment while I go over. Take care of this. It's coming up next. You're on X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Bring your outdoor dreams to life at Loretto Nursery and Landscaping. This one-stop shop can help you get your project done from start to finish. Go see for yourself. They have a wide variety of plants, from tropicals to ferns and trees, plus hanging baskets. What they have to offer goes beyond what looks good. They also supply concrete, mulch, compost, and drainage culverts. Don't forget about their on-lot buildings and chicken coops. You think that's all? You can also stop by to fill up your propane tank. Loretto Nursery and Landscaping has you covered. Stop by 409 South Military.
Time to build a home, remodel, or add on? Hamby Builders is this area's experienced construction company. From site selections to floors, doors, windows, trim, tile, bathrooms, and kitchen, the Hamby Builders team can make your home the home of your dreams. Hamby Builders is licensed and insured with over 20 years of experience in homes in Giles, Lawrence, Wayne, and Murray counties. Trust your home construction or light commercial project to the team with experience and integrity. Hamby Builders. Call 931-629-5264 or 931-629-9472 today.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you, because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Well, welcome everybody back here to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. I got it right that time. So we're good to go again in our under construction studio. Not many people can say that you can still do your stuff while under construction, because our option was to do stuff in my house while it's being cleaned. So who knows what kind of craziness we would have gotten into.
Next year we can come back and look at this.
Yeah.
Man, we was able to stay in there.
Yeah.
You know, while all this was going down, you know, and all that. So yeah, thankful we can still be in here and film.
Yep. Well, guys, let's get into some national news. Looks like Eric Bieniemy will be back with the Chiefs after his wife's shooting. Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs offensive coordinator, turned to the team Monday after a 2-week absence. After his wife Mia was shot by their son at the family's home. Mia Bieniemy, 57, was hospitalized on July 26 and has remained in stable condition. Coach Andy Reese said a few days later that she was released from intensive care unit. Police in Loudoun County, Virginia, confirmed that a woman was being treated for serious injuries from multiple gunshot wounds, but did not disclose her identity. So she is back.
Yeah, that's obviously good news and good for not only the Chiefs, but offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Missing 11 practices in training camp, that's pretty big. That's a big deal. And this is a Chiefs team that's trying to kind of revamp their offense. I mean, I'm sure everyone saw the video of Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball off the back of his offensive lineman's helmet. So
that happens.
Yeah. Good to get Bieniemy back. I'm sure the Chiefs are going to be a completely new look team this year.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate this as a whole, as we, several weeks back when we mentioned this and when it come up on national news, we talked about it a little while, things happen not only to us around here locally, but it shows things happen to people on as well. And we hate this. Prayers for her, for the wife here. Excuse me, gosh. Andy Reid said, she keeps improving, which is important. But when Eric comes back, he's going to be back.
Yeah.
Which I guess means that when he comes back, we're hoping, and I guess I can kind of see them having a conversation of, hey, take your time, but when you come back,
you got to be here.
Yeah.
You got to be present.
You got to be here.
It's probably the best thing for him to kind of step
exactly.
away from that. Those distractions and
For
that
sure.
sort of
For
stuff.
sure.
NFL-wise, the NFL will allow head coaches to designate a member of their sideline staff to initiate replay challenges. League official confirmed Monday. Traditionally, head coaches have been the only member of a team that can declare a challenge by throwing the red flag, but that will change in 2026 if the coach prefers to assign that task to someone else. A decision he would have to inform officials of before the start of the game.
I'm not sure how many coaches are going to be passing this.
Okay, challenge it.
Yeah.
You challenge it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm not sure how many coaches are going to pass this
so as
designation
you said,
off.
So you have to have somebody.
You don't have to.
You have the option to designate somebody else to be your person to throw your challenge.
If you're going to do that, you have to let the officials know prior to the game who that person is. So I guess they can be looking for that as soon as it.
Yeah.
And can it just be like anybody?
It says
can you
sideline.
just like you have almost like a wrestling thing? Just some celebrity comes out and throws a flag.
It says anyone that's a designated sideline staff member. So that can be.
So it would have to be
assistant coach. Whoever's allowed to be on. I mean, obviously, your team trainer is not going to be the guy that throws the flag, but anyone.
I'm not sure how many head coaches are going to pass off that responsibility. I think it
might be. Hands. Well, I know some guys kind of forget where the red flag is, or that sort of thing. So it might be you designate like a quality control guy, like, hey, throw the red flag.
Yeah, throw it. Yeah,
well,
throw it on there.
Right, and I guess one thing too comes down to trust. Just trust in the judgment of whoever that person may be.
Who was it that used to have the get back guy?
Yeah, well, it could be that guy. And again, if you let the officials know, the officials will know to look at that guy.
Right, exactly.
If they're going to challenge it, instead of you got a coach who's over there just going through a million different scenarios and you got an official trying to get in the middle of it to figure it out.
Right.
You just go to that one guy and he knows he's got the headset.
You know,
on,
and I know this is in baseball, but Vanderbilt, I'm a big Vandy boy. In baseball, Coach Corbin does a thing as far as challenges. He trusts the judgment of his players as far as so say there's a bang bang play at second. Coach Corbin will, and I've seen this, and we've actually talked about it over some. He will look at him like yes or no, like
you got, and that's a lot of trust.
And exactly. And if the say the leadoff hitter hits one down the line, tries to get 2 bases out of it, can't get there, bang bang play, he stands up and it's like, then they won't challenge it. But if he gets it, and it's like,
and he's like, hey,
and then Corbin signals like, let's challenge it. So the trust there. So going back to this, it's almost like you don't want to have somebody that's going to be.
But you have to kind of wonder if he knows what he's doing when he's throwing that fly.
You know, I don't know. So. But anyway, in saying that, I wouldn't mind being the.
well, speaking of challenges, let's get into baseball because that challenge system, you guys watch a lot, you know, on the balls and strikes between the players and the pitchers, or the players who are in charge of it, and you know we've since learned that. You know, the bench can't tell you to challenge it. You have to do it on your own. If you try to do that, you can't do it, which they understand those rules. But, like, is it me or, like, I've seen a lot, especially the last couple of weeks, where guys will pause, then challenge, or they'll immediately challenge the umpire's not looking, and they won't give it to him. Or we saw an instance yesterday where a guy tried to challenge, umpire wasn't looking, and the third base umpire was like, yeah, he did, so you got to challenge it. Like, are they kind of purposely sandbagging some of this stuff because they're doing like a lot of
playing the system,
like they're
finding loopholes,
and I get it, like it's the first year of it, so sometimes you know you'll call it and you'll kind of look off and that sort of stuff, and the guy might be doing that. I think it's on
the home plate umpire, man. If you are the home plate umpire, you have to be paying attention every single pitch for when there's an instance like that, because who knows, it could be a 3-2 pitch in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now I get if it was a bigger moment, you're probably going to be paying closer attention, but you miss something like that. Now, again, I'm also a fan that, you know, sometimes that happens. That brings the human element back to the game.
Well, you know something, and I kind of seen this a little bit as of late, in just my mind as I was watching, the catcher, I kind of seen, and it seemed to be happening. It happened once, and there's a little argument, but I think this was the issue. The catcher caught the ball, but was already going to challenge before he even caught the ball, before the umpire even made a call. So it's almost like he wanted to do this to make the umpire
rethink it,
already make a call. You know what I'm saying? So now the umpire is making a call based off the catcher going to his helmet, and then by that the hitter has to go, wait a minute, what's just happening? You know, so
well, and then we see like baseball's trying, or the umpires are trying to make adjustments to that. Was it the shortstop for the Yankees? Caballero, who he's doing that, and he's looking up at the very last second, and they made adjustments to that, and then he takes a walk, takes forever to get down the base, and then you know they call it on his guy because he hasn't even gotten the first base yet. It's like, man, I know it kind of feels like they're picking on him, and I do believe for good reason because he's doing all this BS and they're calling him out for it, but also at the same time, it's like, you know, I thought, you know, the clock doesn't start until the pitcher gets there, or maybe how about you make the adjustment till start the clock when his foot touches first. Again, he shouldn't be walking down. If you get hit by a pitch, that's one thing.
But if you just get walked,
don't walk down the
first. I would say take your stuff off. Get the first. It's not.
It seems like it always happens to the Yankees.
Yeah, really. Speaking of the Yankees, that rookie
Lombard,
has made a heck of had a heck of a debut. I know that just come to my mind when we were talking about the Yankees. I mean, he has a better WAR this season in 4 games than Manny Machado, than Trey Turner, than
All these
Cal
players that
Raleigh.
you think of as
Yeah.
super valuable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's only played
Yeah.
4 games.
Well, speaking of the Braves and the Yankees, how about
Chris
Sale?
Chris
Yeah.
Sale deal.
That? I mean, it was a balk.
It was.
I watched it, and I watched the replay. I went, well, that's a balk.
Right.
And then they call it, and then he loses his mind. But like,
I think
this
what
is
he was
this
saying,
is
he was like, I was ready. He was like, I never do that.
Yeah.
Like he was going like, but I've never done that.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
and then like all
like-
of this like declaring and not like I've seen it in a high school game where you've got to declare that you're going to do this
Yes.
and declare that you got to.
And I think you have to do that in college as well.
Yeah, I think it's at every level, which that part of that's new. And again, that's so you're not trying to deceive batters and deceive
Right,
runners. I
right.
get,
Which I guess
get it.
Sale's
As
argument,
if pitchers needed more advantage.
Yeah.
Sale's argument is already he's already somewhat
set.
in his because his wind up's already kind
Yeah.
of here, and he just goes there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it looks real similar to his when he comes set in the stretch. I mean, it looks real similar. It's very close.
It
So
is, yeah.
he probably just jumped to,
Yeah,
hey, I was in my wind up.
Yeah. Right.
Which
yeah,
and 1-run game. I mean,
Well, and Chris Sale, he's already a notorious kind of hothead,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
necessarily a bad way. He's just a very passionate player, and he spent a long time with the Red Sox, so he already has a strong disdain for the Yankees. I think that this is some of that kind of.
Yeah.
and then the next day,
yeah. It gets which part of that was
it prior to
prior to that, and I
Yeah.
knew, he's not pitching. He doesn't necessarily need to
Kind of walk into the ballpark in a
Yeah.
bad mood, ready to get wrong.
Yeah, and and he stated his case, made his point, but it was a balk.
And the
It was
fact
a
that
balk.
that was only Chris Sale's fourth
Yeah.
career ejection is very surprising to me.
Yeah, it's
I figured he would have at least double digits.
Yeah. What's funny, you guys were talking about him, and we can get into it. Like, what are the most bloated contracts? I mean, Rendon is up there. He's still owed like $38 million, which he wrote it off the back of this great run in Washington. They won a World Series, and he goes there, and he's only played 55 games or something like that, and he's constantly injured. Then when he's actually healthy, he's like getting in fights and then getting re-injured again. Like, I mean, someone might need to take him to court to get some of that money back.
yeah.
Well, I think that's probably has a pretty big factor on why the Angels aren't spending money on anything or anybody anymore. Just because they put a lot of trust into somebody like
did.
Anthony Rendon.
And
robbed him pretty much.
You go back to his 2019 season. I see. You're looking up his stats there, or going.
I'm just looking up other bad
Okay,
contracts
just
that I
looking
can
at
remember.
okay. Well, he had a heck of a 30 plus home run, maybe 35 plus home runs, 100 plus RBIs in 2019. Of course, the Nationals won that World Series there in 2019, and then he signs that deal with the Angels, and it's been wrong.
Yeah.
It ain't been nothing
Yeah,
since.
and this-
You think of Chris Davis,
Well, the one that comes to my mind, Jacoby Ellsbury. He signed that huge contract to go to the Yankees. I think it was 2014 or 2015, and just completely fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Yep.
These are some of the ones I'm looking at. Number 10, you got Matsaka Yoshida.
Yeah.
Red Sox, 5 years, $90 million, 37.2 remaining.
And he hasn't done much. He's starting to play a little bit better, but he had so many injury problems the last 2 years.
Aaron Nola from the Phillies, 7 years, $172 million. He's got
falling off.
$123 million. I mean, I cut him a couple
Yeah.
couple years,
cycles ago.
well, I cut him
And
like
he's
2
getting
weeks into the season off my
Off
fantasy
fantasy
team.
team.
Javi Baez, 6 years, $140 million. He's still at $48 million. Last year was really good when they moved him to center,
This
and
year,
then he's
start-
just gone back to being
and
that
then
guy.
I don't know if he started the year on the IL or something or another. He ain't played many games at all this year. But
No.
ever since he's left Chicago, really, it's just
Well,
been.
what the worst part of it was, he didn't get traded. He didn't get signed right there. He goes to New York. He
Right,
goes over
that's-
there with Lindor, who's a cancer, complete cancer. Gets that, they're doing all that dumb, like, thumbs down stuff to
Yep.
get back at the fans. And he got that rotten attitude from a rotten guy who New York can't get rid of.
I would say, look at what he's done to Soto.
Yeah. Yeah, rotten guy. And then outside of last year, and when Javi is good, I mean, you see what they're able to make the playoffs, and now they're trading away the best pitcher in baseball because he can't get his ish together. Number 7, Willie Adames.
Oh, yeah.
7 years, $182 million. Still owed $168.9 million. But he's the worst fielding shortstop in the game
In the
now?
game.
Probably him and Trey Turner and I guess C.J. Abrams was up there with him. I guess.
Well, the fact that he is rated worse defensively than C.J. Abrams tells you everything you need to know. And this isn't anything to do with the Giants because the Giants, San Francisco, Ron Washington made Luis Ariz go from one of the worst to one of the best defensive infielders in baseball.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Number 6, Marcus Semien with the Mets, 7 years, $175 million, $78 million remaining.
Talk about another player that goes to the Mets and just completely sours.
Yep. Yeah. Number 5, Manny Machado. We mentioned 11 years, $350, still owed $200. He's got age.
I don't think that one's necessarily.
But he's hitting $210 right now.
I would say he's not having a good year whatsoever.
He's awful this year.
But I think at the time that he signed that deal, because that was 2018 when he signed that, 2017, that offseason after he got traded from the Dodgers or from the Orioles to the Dodgers. It was a good sign, and he has been kind of that.
Not this year.
I would say he's been that cornerstone guy up to this year, and this is when it starts.
I'll be honest with you. He's been solid for him. I mean, he's been that guy for him. I don't think. I guess you could probably ask for a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, you could ask for hustling.
Yep.
You could ask for
better defensively.
Yeah. Yep. That sort of stuff. As far as bat, I feel like now not this year. Again, like AJ said, this year his average has been down. The power's been there, but the average has been down this year. He's been somewhat consistent at the plate, but other than that, he's somewhat fallen off defensively, as we've seen in his early days.
For the money that they've given him, with the talent they've surrounded him with,
right? And
you have no significant wins. What are your big playoff wins? What's your run to the World Series? There's none of that.
I think they back in maybe 22 or 23. They beat the Braves.
They had that divisional series. They beat the Dodgers in. And you got to go play the Phillies in the CS where you got beaten 5 games.
Yeah, and the Phillies just destroyed him. Number 4, Carlos Correa, 6 years, $200 million, still owed $62 million. Not the guy they were winning World Series.
No, and that was a lot of money for a team. Was that Houston's contract?
Yep, that is Houston.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 3, Rafael Devers, 10 years, $315 million, still owed $226.5 million. And man, what
I could vent on that one. So first, I get it.
I get it. We've got time.
At the time that he signed that deal, he was your franchise player. Yeah. Well, then, within 2 years of you signing that deal, you go, I want to go get Alex Bregman, which in my mind, I'm like, wow, that's a great guy to go put at second base, because that's kind of what the Red Sox have been looking for. Yes, Bregman. Yeah. Well, Bregman's the third baseman. Tristan Casas was your first baseman. Where do you put Devers? So now you have a $300 million guy as your DH, and he's not H'ing very good. He's not hitting the ball very well, so you trade him. And that was just a whole debacle about that last year. But that is how many millions. And he wasn't hitting the ball. He wasn't like a David Ortiz, where even up into his age 40 year, he was hitting close to 300 and getting on base and was a pest. No, I mean, this dude was, 28, maybe 29, and looked washed.
Yeah. So I want to, as far as contract, I want to make sure I understand it right. He got traded. Did San Francisco pick up the remaining of that?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what happened.
So they have two of the 6 worst contracts in baseball.
Yeah, 7 worst.
7.
Number 2, Anthony Rendon, again, 7 years, $245, still owed $38 million. I mean, I don't think any fan base hates one Major League Baseball player more than Anthony Rendon. And he gets into it with fans. He's getting into it with Angel fans who are just tired of this.
Yeah, and honestly, that happening, and it was like the first 2 weeks of the season. That happened a couple years ago. That was kind of the nail in the coffin. He just never was out there. And I don't know if it was a mental thing, if it was a physical thing, because he just couldn't seem to stay healthy. But he just could never end up on the field. And he was trying to bring back what he did in that, those last couple of years in Washington, and just couldn't stay on the field long enough to try to replicate it.
Yeah.
Or didn't want to.
Yeah, or just didn't have the want to.
I don't know, and I may be getting the wrong impression of that, but I just don't see him just. I just don't.
If
see
you wanted to be on the field, you would be.
Yeah, right.
100%.
And
that's the biggest issue.
I understand injuries take a toll on players. I understand mental health is a thing.
But he didn't have any of these issues in Washington.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it's like one little thing after another. And you're right, Mike. If he wants to really be there, he will do what it takes to be there.
Because I would say you have the money, so you have the utilities kind of at your expense at this point. If he wanted to be out there, I think he would.
Yeah. And number one, kind of hits close to home for me. Chris Bryant with the Rockies, 7 years, 182, still owed $81 million. I read something the other day. He's only played 111 games with the Rockies. Numbers nowhere close to where he was when he was with the Cubs. I know injuries have been the biggest thing for him. Unfortunately, that it's not for lack of effort.
Yeah,
it's turned out
it's like a chronic,
degenerative back disease. But the reason he went there, and again, this is Cub fans message board talk. I don't know if his wife really liked being there. His dad and all of his dad's buddies, I think, had too much influence on him. Cub fans love him, still love him. I've always supported him. I mean, he's been a stand-up guy from day one, and I really appreciate that about KB, especially like when he was playing and the fans would boo him. He's like, yeah, I was a fan. I'd boo me too. Like, I appreciate and I love that honesty. And again, it wasn't for lack of effort, but
he just physically couldn't. His body couldn't hold up.
Again,
no, he's in San Francisco. Is he?
No, he's in Colorado.
He
got traded to Colorado, or got traded to San Francisco. Actually, was pretty good.
Yeah, I would say
during a short time.
2021 season, he finished the season strong.
Yeah, he was really good and good help for them in the postseason. But it just goes to Colorado, and I think he's had too many outside influences that have hurt his career, and I think he knows that. He's kind of led on to that a little bit. But it's funny, if you want a real rivalry, like Chris Bryant's dad's best friends against Cubs Twitter.
Yeah.
They do not hold back. And it's partly because it's like they know you're lying about this. You're doing this to make someone else look bad for his failures. And failures, which, by the way, he's owning up to.
Yeah.
Like he wants nothing to do with that. He loves Chicago. He wishes probably he could come back and be a part of all these reunions with Rizzo and David Ross and all of these guys, but he's not there because he's in Colorado still playing.
And I wonder if the time will come, and when he decides to just hang it up, and he'll probably I see him signing one of them like one day contracts or something like that, and something taking place.
They still give him standing ovations every time he comes back.
Right. I would say he is. I would say out of a player that got kind of dealt at a deadline, man, he was one of, if not the most loved.
Well, you watch that soft grounder to end
the World Series.
To end the World Series. Yeah. I mean, and the excitement and the year he had there. Yeah. The infield that the Cubs had that year.
My goodness, yeah.
You go back, I mean, they had Chris Bryant, they had Addison Russell, they had Chris Bryant that started the All-Star game. Yeah. They had Addison Russell that started the All-Star game. They had Baez that started the All-Star game.
It was Zobrist. It was Zobrist.
I'm sorry.
At second, yeah. And then Zobrist. Baez came on strong. Zobrist went in the left.
Right, and I guess Rizzo was in there. First, was Hayward in there with them?
He was not an all-star, but he was in right field.
He was the right fielder.
You had
Dexter
Fowler in center, and then you had
Schwarber.
You had Schwarber got hurt 3 games into the season.
Right.
He got him and Fowler collided in Arizona. Schwarber didn't come back until the World Series as a DH. So you had a mixture of Zobrist, Soler, and
was Happ?
Chris Coughlin left. No, Happ didn't get drafted till the next year.
He's 2017. Okay,
exactly. So you had
David Ross behind the plate
with Miguel Montero and Wilson Contreras came up midway through. So
that was a fun team.
Pretty especially when you look at where these guys are now. That was a pretty stacked lineup that they had.
Right.
Yeah. So love the good old times. And then you just look at the rotation: John Lester, Jake Arrieta, John Lackey, Jason Hamill was not bad, and then Kyle Hendricks. In that
and Hendricks and Lester, I think, were second and third in Cy Young voting, and then Arrieta was coming off what he had done in 2015,
which was the most dominant. We'll never see what Arrieta.
I think it was 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. We went to St. Louis and watched the Cubs play St. Louis in St. Louis. Kyle Hendricks was on the mound, 7 innings, 2 hits. 3 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Probably about 62 pitches
Yeah.
or something.
I think it was in the
Owned
80s.
the Cardinals.
I'm talking about
Owned the
didn't touch 90, but
Yeah.
once.
Mhm.
Just could put it wherever
Yeah.
he wanted it. Just I remember
Yeah.
me and my dad sat there and he
He
was
was
talking
special.
to me the whole time. Just this is a major league pitcher because I guess that reminded him of some of them '98 Braves pitchers,
Maddox, the Glavine, Smoltz, those guys.
Didn't beat you
wasn't
with velocity,
overpowering, but just could absolutely pitch. And man, I loved watching Kyle Hendricks.
I saw him a couple times. The best is I wish it wouldn't have been rain delayed. They're at Wrigley against the Reds, and he started. It was a Saturday night game, and he threw 5. He gave up 1 run off 2 hits, and he threw 5 incredible innings. And like his changeup and his curveball were just incredible. But the best part, like he owned the Cardinals because he had a rising fastball. And we're talking, like you said, 85 to 89 is where he set, and that thing would just slowly go up there. I can't tell you how many times Paul Goldschmidt swung out of his shoes of a ball that Wilson Contreras was jumping in the air to catch. Like Hendricks Hendricks pitched some big games. It was Game 6 against the Dodgers in 16 that they got, and he threw 7 shutout innings. Or 7 shutout no-hit innings, and then he gave up his first hit. And for some reason, Joe pulled him after that, and then he started Game 7. He was looking really good, and also a good part about his game, lethal pickoff move. Lethal pickoff
Really good.
move.
Not so much on Lester's end.
But
oh my goodness,
he could get some guys.
First baseman.
But like, ask Tommy Pham, he decided to go a little bit too.
Yeah, I did see that.
But you look at it,
he would start.
His move to first, or like his move home was so quick. I mean, David Ross is. I can't tell you how many games he ended throwing a guy out at first or throwing a guy out at second.
Something with Hendricks before we end this that I really like watching as well and taking away from how he threw his demeanor and his
calm.
His calmness. I remember my dad would talk to me about that while watching him pitch. Just he obviously he was in control of the game. He controlled the game, but he didn't let things get to him. I mean, if he had sometimes he'd struggle in the first inning on certain teams because some teams would jump on him pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, there would be some teams would jump on him pretty good, but he would come out in the second down, say 5-0.
Cool.
And he would walk up there, throw some warm up pitches, and he was the same, like it was 0-0. And I mean, I always respected that about him as well.
Well, and another guy that's probably another guy you'd be a fan of is Dustin Pedroia. He'd go have a terrible session of BP, and I don't remember who was telling this story, but he'd come over there. These guys watching him, he'd come over there and was like, "Yeah, guys, pretty good BP right there." And then he'd get in his own head, kind of backwards in a way, and then he'd go have a 2 or 3 hit day.
Right.
Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game said he didn't throw a strike in the bullpen. And one of his first pitches, he crossed up his catcher and hit the umpire in the
first. It was like 120 right to the umpire's face. Yeah.
So sports are amazing. Baseball's amazing. So that will do it for Sports Live. We'll be back again on Wednesday for Cade, Michael, and myself. We'll see you then.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.